Welcome back to For the Culture. We're here today on our second episode, and man, we've been fortunate to bring on one of Fresno's best, Evan. My man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. Thank you very much for the kind words. I'm super happy to be here.
Man, we're honored for you being here.
I'm a big fan of culture. I'm happy to be in the building.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
have a special friend here, so I'm feeling this. I'm feeling special. I'm feeling like excited to be here.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man. We're gonna get right into it then. I
Let's
know,
go.
man, you're a busy man, and then all the things you do and making Fresno great. Man, I just want to ask if you could just introduce yourself. Let's tell the people out there, who the great Evan is.
Yeah. So my name's Evan Nebeker. I'm a Fresno guy, Fresnan, through and through.
Sir.
Um, proud to be here. Proud to be from here. Proud to do work for Fresno. Some background on me was in the marijuana game or owner of dispensary back about 15, 20 years ago.
Let's get into that. 15, 20 years ago. I
Yeah.
thought you was in elementary at that time.
No.
Wow.
No, closer to
man,
15 than
Lincoln
20.
at 8 years old. Okay.
But yeah, let's keep it going with that in terms of
Yeah.
my perception of age. I'm really for that. But yeah, so we were involved, 15 years ago around owning a dispensary. That wasn't my introduction to marijuana, but that was my introduction to marijuana on a larger scale in
Yes,
Fresno, I
sir.
guess you'd say.
Yes, sir.
And that kind of led to several other endeavors and things that we're going to dive into. But yeah, it's been a great relationship with me. I'm no longer in any kind of ownership role, owner operator, but I still have some involvement and attachment to some businesses and brands, and I'm real proud of that.
Oh man, we appreciate that. I mean, you're a trendsetter, and it definitely took a lot of courage.
Yes.
Back 15, we're talking about the medical days, SB
Yes.
420.
Yes.
To be able to come out and I mean, there was a lot of adversity that came with that, and so
Yes.
man, we appreciate you, taking those big risks and providing, medicinal
Yeah.
to each and every one of us that wanted a safe space to
Appreciate
be able
that.
to go and purchase product.
Yeah.
Man, let's
Thank you
talk
for saying
about
that.
that safe space that
Yeah.
you was able to create for us.
Yeah. So we had a dispensary. I believe we were the second one open at the time.
Okay.
I'm terrible with years, probably early 2000s.
Right.
We were open for several years under different company names and under different locations. We were sued our third day in business.
Wow.
It was like basically a shutdown notice. That was one of many of those types of legal games that were played.
Yes.
Was never, never arrested, never raided, never anything like that ever happened to me, my stores, my family. But we did have legal battles.
Right. Right.
So I appreciate the kind words. I couldn't have done any of that stuff without the support of my parents. My dad is a huge advocate. I'm a veteran.
Shout out to Pop.
Yeah, love it. Big fan of my dad. Great supporter. And then also my wife, who I've known since the jump of when I got involved in the marijuana business. And so her support, guidance, lack, always supporting it, never judging it, always understanding the benefit,
Right.
and what would go into that. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. Like I said, start off with a quick shutdown notice. It spiraled into many other opportunities, but everything led to something positive.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there was never anything that was overwhelmingly negative.
Man, let's dive into that a little bit. So, from what I just heard, man, you can deal with adversity at its highest level.
I think that I like to think that I can. Yeah, I mean, yes, I can. I've definitely done it and
Right.
shown it, but I definitely have some imposter syndrome at times, going through those battles. But I know that I'm going to be okay, that I'm going to make it through. I can,
Absolutely.
and I'm strong enough to. But in the battle, sometimes I can doubt myself, or you know what I mean.
And which, we appreciate the wife, we appreciate the family, the support system in which you have.
100%.
Man, looking forward to, the special guest that's also part of
Yeah.
that circle. And so, we appreciate each and every one that has contributed
For sure.
to what you brought to Fresno.
Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you so
And
much.
you paved the way for individuals such as myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
man, you brought
I'm
the
happy about
culture
that.
before culture.
I'm really happy about that. I'm happy that it's connected us on a
Yes.
personal level. I'm really proud of a lot of the the windows or the doors or things that were opened or that was able to throw bricks through to get through because of the business.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah, I'm just pretty honored. I'm actually was blown away that you guys wanted to talk to me about it and hear some of my backstories, and I have a ton of stories that I'd like to share and talk about as well.
Man, we
And
want to capture them all here.
yeah, it's hard for me to tell my story of marijuana and where I've gone with it or where it has gone or what we've done with it without a good friend of mine, a gentleman who's going to come on and join us next.
Yes,
He
sir.
goes by the name of Fashawn, and
Ooh, a legend.
a lot of my brother, a man who attended my wedding, whose music we played at funerals in my family.
Wow.
Yeah, so our bond is deep. I think the first birthday party I went to for Fash's daughter was her third, might have been her second, but it's been a pleasure to watch his career the last 20 some odd years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I know that's reciprocated. That's
Yeah, there's a lot of love there. It's just special whenever we get to connect and hang out with his schedule and he's traveling more than I am.
it's
So
amazing, man. You got an amazing circle, I
yeah,
must
thank you,
say.
brother.
Yeah, no
Thank
doubt.
you.
And I appreciate you allowing me to, be part of that, man. A huge
Oh
honor.
man. Thank you for saying that and thank you for meeting me with the same love and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Man, Ev, compare from medical days to today, what do you like about, the
Yeah.
safe spaces that we call
Right.
dispensaries?
I like so the medical marijuana days were really cool into me because things weren't as like novelty and as cliche, and there was like a lot of cutting edge stuff. It was
Right.
very new. There's a lot of stuff constantly changing. People's perception was constantly changing. I thought that was kind of fun to watch people who were against it, and then within like a year, 18 months, they were coming to the stores or reaching
Yes,
out for advice for themselves, their ex, their grandmother, their mom. Everyone in some way, shape, or form has used THC,
absolutely.
and so it was just funny how it would kind of the progression and how it was more acceptable to certain people to admit it or to, you know what I mean? And I
Right,
was like,
right.
I could care less. I think it's a beautiful thing. But the medical days I really enjoyed. Cost of product was sold at a higher rate. So as an owner operator, there was more money to be made,
Yes.
um, more scrutiny. But I really enjoyed that. Whereas now I think people come in and they feel like they are a little bit more entitled or they know a lot more. When people were coming in 15 years ago, they were asking genuine questions
Yes,
and like
sir.
and listening to the answer. I know staff's very helpful in some stores, especially yours, but people really wanted to be educated at that time. We would do free classes, and so it was just really cool. It was just there was a lot of excitement for it and like what it could become and spawn to.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite strain?
Mm. Two. All right. So one is Nebula, and that's just because with my last name, it's a play on my last
I
name.
love it.
Um,
We need to get some of that.
yeah, absolutely. But my favorite strain ever is called Grizzly City Kush.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh.
again, I can't tell that story without my brother Fashawn, but it was a strain that him and I and a grower came with.
Okay.
Um, there was a cross of multiple strains, and we were able to create something that was really special and unique at the time when we did that over 15 years ago. Like rappers weren't making there weren't strains, artists weren't having marijuana strains and brands and things like
Yes,
that.
sir.
There were a few people that had stuff at the time. Um, I think Evidence, this LA based artist who was in a group called Dilated People. I think he had a strain called Green Evidence. There were a few people who had stuff, but it was way ahead of any of that.
Right.
It was a high end demand. It was a popular strain, and we carried it at our stores. It was one of the few strains that would just sell out. It was something we would never be able to keep in stock. Um,
I mean, everything you touch sell,
no,
actually.
I mean and it was just like the beautiful relationship of it
Right.
with Fash, with his music, with the lifestyle, with everything was just was 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 real, and like the timing on it was really good.
Man, I love it.
It got picked up. We always had other people trying to buy excess of it for other stores. We kept everything in house because we'd only have enough to service our base. We wouldn't have
Correct.
hundreds of pounds of it. Um, some stuff that was cool though. We were invited to events to speak about it or do things like that. We had an article in High Times about it,
Oh,
a
wow.
small feature. Yeah, so it was cool. It was an exciting thing. And it was just really fun to do that with him and then like some of the doors that it opened for him and a lot of the doors that we were able to get through, Bash had already opened them or had that
Yes,
shit
sir.
ready for us to go through, you know?
Man, no, love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
That was really cool. That was a lot of fun, like marketing stuff we are able to make at the time. Again, this is 15 years ago, but like remember some kind of the memorabilia was like custom jars that we would do for Grizzly City Kush and with our store.
Right.
And that was dope. It was really cool. And again, it was really, years before a lot of the stuff became so everyday and mainstream. And the
Man,
norm.
what a story. I mean,
Yeah.
so, your life pretty much has been based on serving,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
seeing people happy,
Absolutely.
problem solver.
Absolutely. That was the rewarding part about, the dispensary side, especially being in the storefront,
Yes.
was you do see a lot of positive change. You see some negative stuff. It's more of people that are hurting and going through hard stuff.
Right.
So I don't really want to call that negative. But then you get to see a lot of positive stuff. You get to see people making progress, people overcoming things, um,
Love it.
people prevailing. And so there was a lot of like every day you could leave and be like, that was really good. That was really cool. That was something that can inspire me. I see this person's progress.
Yes.
Um, we also, I've always been big on CBD or CBD with THC. And so I would specifically see that through athletes.
Yes, sir.
I won't mention names, but several NBA and NFL athletes that would come through our store, and they would tell me about the relief on them, all the way to Audrey, who's a half marathon runner who
Right.
uses the products for relief. My dad, who's a big yoga guy, who uses the products for relief.
Yes, sir.
So I'm a believer. I'm a fan of it. I think that when used responsibly, it can do wonders for you.
Wow. You touched on a few things. Um, brotherhood,
Yeah,
music industry,
yeah,
the culture and so forth. And so, over time, you morphed into something else that, of course, you're well known about here in the city that also contributes to, people happiness,
yeah,
that turns a frown to a smile. And so,
yeah.
I mean, we can't go without, talking about one of the founders
Mhm.
of Grizz Fest, man.
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
Absolutely. So Grizzly Fest was a music festival, music arts festival. Started in 2012.
Wow.
Um, Lots of reasons why we wanted to start a music festival. At the time, we were touring a lot. With Fashawn was on tour. I was doing a lot of the tour runs with them.
Okay.
Excuse me. And so we were seeing the back end of a lot of stuff. So we knew that. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
So we knew that we needed to do something along those lines, not just a tour, not just a show. And so we started working on it. We'd been able to see a lot through Fash's bookings and connections.
Yes.
And so we were seeing how festivals were going in other countries and other states. Um, and so that kind of gave us the glimpse. What gave us the confidence to do it was Fash, having him attached to the first one
Yes, sir.
and knowing his involvement, his popularity, and things like that. So it kind of gave them more confidence of like, this is the right time. This is the right, way to go about
Right.
it. So we did the first one in 2012 at the fairgrounds. It was wild. It was fun. Not crazy successful, but we didn't lose a lot of money. We had a little bit of profitability. Our sponsors were happy. There was a lot of things that we
People
didn't.
was happy.
Yeah, yeah. There were some things we didn't love about our deal with the venue, and we didn't use the venue again after that. But as a whole, 2012 was great. It's kind of set something up. Didn't know what we were setting up, or I didn't understand, where it was going to go, how big it was going to be, and the direction. Um, that I would have to give credit to Aaron Hakimian, who was the head of all things Grizzly Fest. He had the vision of
Right.
it going much larger scale. I just knew how to do it and how to move some parts, and so he was had the larger vision. And then again, having Fash attached to a lot of it, especially 2012, 2015, 2016, 2017 was a really really big thing. He played every year, but those were pillars.
That's amazing.
So
So, I mean, here it is. We have a team,
yeah,
and in that team, you had a visionary, you
yeah,
being an architect,
yeah,
and man, brother Fashawn being an executioner.
that's right.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
Yeah,
What a team. What a team. Tell me about, like, with having these type of events,
yeah.
creating these events, how important is the community around it?
Everything. So I think that's really the foundation of everything. Like when you're talking about an event, a brand, or whatever, I think it all comes down to a community. It has to be community supported
Correct.
for it to be able to stand. And so, like an example of that would be pickleball is wildly popular,
Big time.
and really the core of pickleball is community.
Yes.
Um, we do a pickleball tournament again. Shout out to Aaron Hakimi, and we just had our fourth annual. Every year it's grown. It's bursting. It's crazy. It's really fun to be a part of it. Um,
Who won?
I mean, there's so many different divisions. So there's
Okay.
like, there's about 14 different divisions, but everyone is a cash winner for all the way from a few $100s to a few $1,000s. Um, but I bring that up because that's the core of it is community. Um, with Grizzly Fest, the community thing was a huge, huge thing. So we had a nonprofit attached. So around even though it's a once a year event, around the year you're doing work for it. Obviously, like the behind the scenes stuff, but just even the outward stuff of community stuff, of give backs,
Yes.
of giving percentage of your profits to certain groups, things like that. So there's a huge community thing, getting the community to buy in, but also like really earning their trust and
Yes,
want
sir.
versus just like I'm doing this big event, you should support it. Cool, that's lame though. That's not real. And so when you have more to it and put your heart into it, you do it for years, but also the people involved in it are big community people. When it's myself, when it's Fashawn,
Yes.
it's and when it's Aaron, it's those are all people that are like they were very, very known in the community.
Right.
And so that already had like kind of helped with their light and their attention.
Man, I love it. I love it, man.
Yeah,
And it's that it takes energy to attract energy, right? And
absolutely.
you guys definitely brought the energy,
Dude,
and
you're the
we're
energy guy though.
forever, grateful for that. No doubt,
Yeah.
man. Forever grateful. For the people,
Yeah.
for the culture.
Yeah.
We had a caller call in with a question. I got a question
Oh yeah,
on
shoot.
behalf of the people.
Let's do it.
Man, what's the craziest thing
Yeah.
you've seen happen behind the scenes of an event?
My favorite story that's like wild is we booked a band for I think it was 2016 or 2017 Grizzly Fest.
Okay.
And it was this rock Chicano band. They've had like 3 or 4 different names because they pulled dudes in and out of the band. At one time they were called The Commons, and they had some other names. Super cool dudes. But when they did Grizzly Fest one year, they were coming on a high because they had done Coachella, and they were like after Coachella they were listed as like one of the 10 bands to watch who blew up at Coachella, right?
Right.
So they were on this high, and they were doing a bunch of shows and killing it. And backstage at Grizzly Fest, I knew they were going to do drugs because they, you just know
It's
when
part of the
hospitality.
culture.
Yeah, and
It's
when you're
part of the culture.
hospitality. Part of what I would do for hospitality was Grizzly Fest in the early stages was make sure people had things they needed
Right.
or help facilitate
Right.
relationships and things like that. And
Yeah,
what I
we
mean by
brought the culture
relationships
to them.
is not sexual. I mean relationships in terms of business
That's right.
relationships.
Let's
Okay.
be clear about that,
100%. Yeah.
listeners. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so these guys backstage, my wife was the head of our hospitality. My wife came back and was like, they're putting foil on the walls. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And we go in there a few minutes later to give them like, hey, 15 minutes, you're going out there, and they have foil on the walls, peanut butter all over the walls. And they're like, alluded to, we just took something. I'm
Well,
like, oh shit. Okay. All right. And they weren't the headliner, but they were people were there to see them. They were, it
right.
was a value. Anyway, they go out and they do their set and they fucking kill it. Amazing set.
Wow.
But you could tell that the drummer and the other members were
Full of it.
fully on one drum
Full of
set.
full of peanut butter.
Yeah, head up in the clouds while
Right.
performing, but still killing everything. So that was just wild. Going into the room and fully seeing peanut butter and foil, and the conversation we had was just like, oh fuck, I didn't have that on my cards. Like that was gonna play out.
Now
You know what I
that
mean?
is crazy.
That
That
was
is
yeah,
crazy.
that was crazy. But typical just goofy, wild behavior that you would see. People drinking too much, people being fanboys,
Right, right,
more,
right.
more things that were lame and annoying than like, you know what I mean?
No
You know,
doubt. No
um,
doubt.
even myself, sometimes people like myself get in the way of the real people doing their job. And so that can happen with backstage and those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that's a crazy story. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. We had to pay
That's
money.
one of the first I've ever heard.
Yeah. We lost a security deposit on that one.
Right.
Like if it was people smoking, we can usually get out of it, talk our way out of it to let them know beforehand, like this is going to happen. It has to happen.
Peanut butter was extreme.
Yeah. That was like, you guys, you didn't, we never discussed that. So that was the wildest one. I mean, there was some very fun stories. Usually it involved people doing things to excess.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
which gluttony of things, but which is the norm. Sadly for those type things.
True.
Um, let me see if I can tell you one story here. Okay, so in the first time we did Grizzly Fest in 2012, we tried to book Schoolboy Q, and we couldn't get him. We couldn't afford him, and it was by a matter of like a few $100, and we just couldn't do it at the time. And then so years later, 2019, 2019 he was able to play,
Okay.
and so that was a really cool full circle moment in terms of like in 2012 you were interested in 2009. You know what I mean?
Right.
The work of that much time to get there.
Right.
I thought was really cool, and that's worth mentioning. Um,
No, appreciate that.
yeah.
Man, we're all products of our environment, right? And, I wanted to ask you, what is one of the best advice you've ever received from someone? that contributed to your success.
Yeah, just start doing it. Whatever it is, start doing it, and you're gonna figure it out in the kind of in the storm. That doesn't mean like, hey, I want to do a show and I have 100K. I just need to go book an artist for 80K and build out a show. That's not what I mean. But I mean like start working on whatever it is. I'm a runner. I like to run. I'm proud of that. I just ran a half marathon. Let's fucking go. Fash.
Peace, man. What's up? What's going on?
Thank you for being here.
Kid Kush, man.
Yes.
Is it still Kid Kush or is it King Kush?
No, now it's
King.
man, you actually know that name. That's so dope. That's so dope. Now
That's what I got you saved on the
Yeah.
phone.
it was Kid Kush. I tried to go Lord Kush. I got shut down. They're like, you're not there.
Oh man.
Then I tried to I tried to become a cardio guy, so I tried to push it.
Hey.
But yeah, thank you for being here, bro. This is
Of course.
really cool for me personally. Like anything off of my life marijuana based and things that marijuana provided to me opportunity wise. You were a play in 75 to 100% of it.
You know I was high the whole time.
Hey, that's still it was major, huge parts of my life.
Highlight of our life.
Yeah.
Highlight.
First interview I ever did was me and you in my dispensary back, 13 to 15 years ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Doing a strain, doing Grizzly City Kush together was amazing. I can't thank you enough for doing that, for being a part of it.
My pleasure. My pleasure, man.
You just had an integral part, like I said, from music played with my family to support in everyday life. Sponsorship. I got into sponsoring music events because of you. When I had CVC, that's why I mean it was you and Aaron, but it was because of your art.
Hey, man. A lot of the floral essence that you gave me inspired a lot of that art. You know what I'm saying? Especially Grizzly City Kush. I think I might have got like 4 albums out of that. Just that strain alone.
Yeah. No, that was a run. That's still my personal favorite strain.
Yes, sir.
Obviously it has some sentimental value to me, but on a personal level, in terms of the results with it, I find it to be effective.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, I think overwhelmingly thankful for a lot of that.
Did you see that Rick Ross interview when he just got up and just walked out the interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think I might have to hit you with one of those real quick. It'll be good for content. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's a pleasure, man. All right, I might have love
Thank
you,
you
man.
for coming. I love you.
Hey,
Man.
always.
Be safe. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Huge.
Fash was able to come by and spend a few minutes, and we always plan to hang out, but it doesn't always work because of schedules and life, just like any people. But it's always cool when we get to connect because we have a deep, genuine love. Being able to see his process, for 15, 20 years behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah, and it just like I said, he gave me a lot of opportunities, and if I can expand on the opportunities, what I mean is the first shows that I got into sponsorship wise with my company were his shows.
Wow.
So I was able to just learn the sponsorship side as the person spending money, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I was able to get into management, artist management, and tour management because of Aaron and Fash. So that led into going behind the scenes, and that's what led into getting information about, hey, maybe we should do a Grizzly Fest, right? We were doing tours, so it led to that. Again, that was an extension of that. A lot of the success I had through my stores was because of our relationship.
Yes, sir.
And so I just don't ever want to. I feel like he's such a humble person that he doesn't ever want to like just be real or even just like stunt and talk his talk. When it's like you could do that if you wanted to, he could, but it's not his personality, it's not his heart. So sometimes I'm like, well, let me stunt for at least for you in a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Tell you what,
All love.
one other story connected I want to get off before I lose it is we were talking about this off camera was have you ever been tapped out and smoking?
Right.
And Fash was saying he hasn't, and I was saying I have one time, and I was with Fash. It was we were at the Save Mart Center. Wiz Khalifa was in town. It was Wiz and a few other acts. Wiz was headlining at Save Mart Center, and Fash and Wiz had a relationship, or still have a relationship, but through music and some tours and some album covers, or magazine covers. Anyway, so we got to smoke with Wiz and got to meet Wiz, and it was super dope. But I got so high. I mean, there was like the dude would start a joint, hit it, pass it. As soon as he passed it, start another one. So if there was 4 people, there was more than 4 joints in rotation,
Right.
And I remember I just at a certain point I still had a dispensary open at the time, and I was like I can't. I knew I couldn't get back to the dispensary, and then I realized like I I don't fully know my way out of this venue.
Uh-oh.
And so yeah, I did. That was the one time that I could admit that.
Well, you tapped out.
Yeah, I knew that I was at a point where I had I lost production,
Right.
and I really didn't know. I didn't have my full wits about me. I was seasoned, but I wasn't as seasoned as I am now.
Yes, sir.
With that level of performance. And so, and I was also like blown away because I've always been a big fan of Fash, even though we're boys. And then Wiz, obviously, I was a fan of. Um, and so that was just like, a very exciting thing that I probably, went over the top.
Wait, so did Wiz tap out too?
No,
Okay.
no, those dudes were no. He was well more seasoned at the time than I.
Wow.
But a great dude. I had a great experience through that, and was able to meet Wiz a few times. And it was always through Fash
Yes, sir.
when he was in town, or we were traveling and whatnot.
So, for the listeners, and out of all fairness, how many before you tapped out?
Shit, back then it was I don't know, man. I would say we were probably smoking consistently for 45 minutes to an hour.
Ooh.
Whereas now I that would affect me differently, Um, but yeah, it was one of those unexpected things too, how everything had played out,
Right.
and so there's a lot into it. But yeah, I would say about 45 minutes. Yeah,
Yes.
young virgin lungs,
Right.
Yeah, yeah, but a good
I love
good experience for sure, and good time.
And that leads into my next question. What is something you do to reset when life gets noisy?
Yeah, cardio. So for me, like exercise is the broad answer, but specifically it's also like cardio for me is what kind of gets me in line.
Okay.
I'm able to do it with music or without music. If it's without music, I can kind of lock in on what I'm going through with those feelings or those emotions or whatever, and it makes it easier for me to process it. The act of running several miles just kind of always puts me more at peace, and I'm able to kind of look back and evaluate my situation.
Right.
Sometimes I'm not always able to do that, or I've already might have had my exercise for the day. Sometimes cannabis can be that for me, where I'm able to just say, "Hey, let me take a minute on this." If I'm able to smoke,
Yes.
consume, do that, and I can maybe just in that have a different perspective,
Right.
view, or understanding of someone, something, whatever it is, right?
Yes.
Um, and yeah, those would probably be the two most common for me.
Like that.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, what have you learned from throwing two sober wellness focused events?
Yeah.
Man, Ned, you definitely have a huge heart.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, yeah, big time.
you.
I mean, both of us that of course consume,
Yeah.
but for you to come out the box and say, let me do something for those that, may not consume, or for those
Yeah.
that want to,
Yeah.
be sober for a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so I
Yep.
mean that's huge that you create environments,
Thank you.
you're an environment
Thank you.
creator
No, I'm
that,
super proud of that.
that
Thank you.
contributes to, again, people happiness,
Yeah.
going back to for the culture. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm loving the sobriety part of it, and what we just mean with the sobriety of the event is that we're just not serving alcohol.
Right.
It's also it takes place at 9 a.m.
Okay.
So it's not that alcohol should really even be necessary at that time, but if it is your thing, that's fine. We just don't serve it at our event at that time. That's
Okay.
it. If you have drinks the night before and you come in the morning, great. If you have drinks that night after the event, that's cool.
Right.
But our space and our event is about community, sunlight, dance, wellness, positivity, and a lot of extensions of that. It's overwhelmingly positive. And so the cool part about that and what I've learned from doing that is that people are amazing without alcohol. People don't need alcohol to be any more social, talkative, brilliant, attractive, whatever it is. I think we have the illusion that we might need that, but people are just amazing as is. And
So
also,
true.
it was super wanted, and I didn't know how wanted that space was until we did the first one. The first one we sold out. We built a second one. We scaled it to add about 30% more tickets. The second one sold out. We're working on the third one that's scaled to do about 25% more tickets than the second.
Okay.
Because it's a need, and we're really just at the tip of the iceberg with it and with what we can do with it. So that's what's really dope and really exciting too, is having been a part of Grizzly Fest, having been a part of a strain, dispensaries and things at the early stage, you can kind of start to see certain things like that are going to take off or have a higher trajectory.
Right.
This is one of those things that it might not. I'm not saying we're going to be a festival or anything like that. That's not the goal of it, but that we're at the tipping point of the directions it can go, how wide it can go, how deep it can go. It's getting a lot of support of certain communities, and that's making it feel very strong. The running community, the pickleball, the yoga, hiking, cycling, like those, a lot of those folks are gravitated towards it. And so we're starting to kind of build a community. And that's what's making me also very excited because we're
Right.
getting that community support that I referenced earlier.
Man, I love it. Man, you're
Yeah.
all about the culture.
Uh,
I mean, creating it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love to be a part of that. I love to see people flourish. What's really dope is seeing people happy and comfortable. Because if people are happy and comfortable, they're not going to mess with me or anyone else,
Right.
right? They're going to be happy and proud of their life. I want everyone to be happy and comfortable. I love my life. I'm happy to be married and happy to have kids.
That's right.
I want people happy in their life, and they'll never want to do anything foul and negative towards my family, you know? And that's my thing is if I just treat people well, if I do those things, I'm gonna get that back. People are gonna reciprocate that with,
Yes,
with
sir.
my family, and
I
so
love
that's
that.
that's
Conscientious.
yeah.
A beautiful family, by the way.
Thank you,
Man,
bro.
beautiful
Thank you.
family.
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm super lucky to be married. I met my wife 17, 18 years ago, and literally the first time we connected, my mom was there when we met. My mom said, "You guys are gonna get married." Like that
Wow.
was the energy.
She saw it.
Yeah, the energy was yeah. I was extremely excited, locked in conversation wise, and anyway, so it just built from that day. I was just very, very into it, and still am, almost 20 years later, however long it's been. But yeah, my wife's amazing. Thank you, and thank you, love. Thank you for all the support and always just having my back.
100%.
Yeah.
Man. Shout out to wifey and
Oh
the
yeah.
family, man. We
Yeah.
appreciate you.
You can't do these things and large things and things that take so much time and
Yes.
money and effort and planning and random calls and conversations if you don't have someone who supports you but just trusts you and knows that like you're going to do things that are going to honor what you say doing what you say you're going to do, but it's going to honor the family and like things that are going to respect us.
That is definitely a diamond in the rough. And you
Yeah,
found that diamond.
she's the truth. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir. As we come to a close in
Yeah.
our podcast here, I'm hoping that, you will grant us the opportunity, the listeners that are listening as we speak
Yeah.
and sharing, when is
Oh
the
yeah,
next Grand Rising event?
absolutely. I'm happy to share January 10th, 2026. It's going to be the next Grand Rising. We're moving locations for good reasons. We outgrew the one we held the previous two at. So we're,
Huge.
we're going to a place to accommodate a few more people, but it's January 10th. We have tickets on sale right now. They're pre-sale tickets. We'll be making larger announcements in the next 7 to 12 days. But yeah, we're really excited. Again, good support, good feedback. Excited to add on some new things to it,
Yes.
to peel back and get a little bit deeper on some stuff. Um, yeah, just everything that's kind of coming from that and opportunities that are coming from it. It's really awesome, and I just want to thank everyone who's supporting the event. And if anyone has any opinions about it, good, bad, and different, we want to hear it. We have a campaign coming out where we're going to be reaching out to people, specifically calling them direct, 1990s style, just on the phone to talk about the event, thank them for coming. So if you get a call from me in the next few weeks, that's really me. I'm not bullshitting. It's part of a campaign. And just thank you everyone for the support with the event. We're
Man,
juiced.
Grand Rising people. I mean, be there or be square. An event that's all about, supporting sobriety, an event that brings people together, and an event that, allow us to dig into our inner selves. And so,
Absolutely.
man, that we appreciate you on
Thank you,
behalf
bro.
of the people, for the culture. We appreciate you doing this
Man.
for us. And so,
I'm honored to be here.
yes, sir.
I was excited to do it when I found it was gonna be you and I talking. I was more excited.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm a big
It's a
fan
huge
of you.
honor.
Yeah, no, people need to know your story. That you're a Fresno guy, through and through. That
Yes,
you're
sir.
a strong man. That you're a black man. That you support creatives. That you support artists behind the scenes. You're supporting projects that people aren't aware of. And so I think people need to know your story, and I think that people would gravitate towards that, such as I have. So thank you for being cool with me, being open to me, and the relationship that we have. I'm super
Oh,
thankful for it.
man. It's reciprocal, brother. And I thank you. And we thank each and every one of you for
For sure.
tuning in today.
Thank you.